What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for Teixeira versus OSP. Let's start at the bottom. First fight is Anthony. I'm not even going to try to say this dude's last name because it's crazy as shit. Versus Scott Holtzman. And Anthony's that jiu-jitsu guy that got knocked out by the Russian guy a while back. I can't remember. I just remember his last name. I just remember his last name. I remember he got knocked out. And Scott Holtzman, I know he's a pretty good up-and-comer. I think that Scott Holtzman will be able to use takedown defense and probably win by knockout. He looks like he's a pretty good boxer, so yeah, I'm going to say Scott Holtzman by KO. Next is Milan Vieira versus Roman Salazar, and I think they're kind of trying to feed Vieira a fight here because he was on that Ultimate Fighter season for the nations, and he's one of the few guys from South America in the UFC right now. So I think they're probably going to try to give those guys the easier fights so they can build up that market. So I'll pick Vieira. I say he wins by submission. Next is Chris Dempsey versus Jonathan Wilson, and I actually know who this guy is. I've seen some of his fights, and I just want Wilson to win because his nickname is Johnny Bravo. I think this fight could honestly go either way. I think these guys have pretty similar styles, but I'm going to pick Jonathan Wilson just because his name is Johnny Bravo. So I'm going to pick him win by KO. Next is Frankie Sanchez versus Serwan Kakrai. And I'll pick Cockray. I think he's better. Aside from wrestling, I think his striking and jiu-jitsu is better, and I think his overall technique is better. I think as long as he worked on his takedown defense for this fight, he should be able to just win by points with his better striking and solid takedown defense. So I'll pick Serwan Kakrai. It's probably going to be an upset. I don't know how big of an upset, but I'm going to pick him by UD. Next is Dustin Ortiz versus Willie Gates, and I think this fight will kind of be like Willie Gates' fight against John Moraga. I think he'll look good until he isn't looking good. And by that, I mean like when Dustin starts controlling him on the ground. I think as soon as Dustin gets dominant position on the ground, he'll eventually work his way for a submission. And that's just how I see this fight going. I think Ortiz will probably win late first round, maybe early second round by rear naked choke or like arm triangle. Next is Sarah McMahon versus Amanda Nunes. And I don't know what the hell this is. This feels like they just hate Amanda Nunes. I mean, why are they giving a chick who's almost like a pure striker going up against one of the best wrestlers in this division? You know, I like Amanda Nunes. I think she's exciting, but this is just a horrible stylistic matchup. I think Sarah McMahon's just going to take her down and beat her up the whole time. She'll probably win by third round finish as soon as Amanda starts to get tired. So I don't know what the hell this is. This just feels like they hate Amanda Nunes to me. Next is Uriah Hall versus Uwal Bagabus. This guy has a crazy name. But this just feels like they're trying to feed Uriah Hall another fight. I mean, it's a kickboxer with a decent record, just like a lot of Uriah Hall's wins. I mean, he's never beaten anyone of note. I feel like they just keep on trying to build him up because he still has some star power, but he just can't beat people that are well-rounded. So I say he wins this fight because it's a typical fight that he wins. It's a kickboxer versus a kickboxer, and Uriah Hall's good at that when someone's not going to mix up wrestling with striking. So I'll pick Hall by either decision or TKO, but like I said, it almost doesn't matter because even if he wins this fight, he's probably not going to be able to beat some of the better people down the road. So, you know, it is what it is. Next is Ray Borg versus Gene Herrera. And this kind of feels like the fight between the up-and-comers, but I'm going to pick Ray Borg. I think the fact that he's fought in the UFC and he's already beaten some noteworthy people it kind of gives him the edge in my mind. They're both kind of jiu-jitsu guys, but I just think Ray Borg has, like I said, he's fought the better people and he's looked better against better people. So I'm going to pick Ray Borg, either by decision or submission. Next is Chris Camozzi versus Tom Watson. And Tom Watson showed in his last fight against Rafael Natal that he was a striker and he's not even that great of a striker. I mean, he was basically getting outpointed the whole fight. So I feel like Chris Camozzi, you know, he can probably do the exact same thing. He can just keep his distance and not brawl with Tom Watson. He should be able to win. You know, that last fight really showed to me that Tom Watson's not that good. If you're getting out kickboxed by a jiu-jitsu guy and you're a striker, you know, that's not good. Like, that's just the best way to put it. That's not good. So I'm going to pick Chris Camozzi. I think he does exactly what Natal did. He just uses technical striking to stay away from a brawl and wins by 30-27 decision. Next is Jared Rosholt versus Timothy Johnson. And Timothy Johnson looked good in his debut, but I'm still going to pick Rochelle. I think his wrestling is going to wear Timothy out. I say after the first round, we're definitely going to see the big gap. The first round's probably going to be a little squirrely back and forth, but come second round, I think Jared Rochelle's just going to take over and probably win by late TKO. Next is Derek Brunson versus Sam Alvey. And Derek Brunson's probably going to win this fight, but I'm still going to pick Sam Alvey. I think he's just the more exciting guy. I think that he'll probably lose the first round, maybe the first 2 rounds, but I think he's going to come back and win by knockout, kind of like how Yoel Romero did against Derek Brunson. You know, Derek Brunson's shown that his chin isn't very great. I mean, he's been knocked out several times in his career, and I think Alvey's a little bit of a slow starter, but if he can get through that first round, I think he'll pick up the pace and probably win by late second, early third knockout. Next is Michael Johnson versus Daniel Bardouche. And these 2 guys are really weird because I really don't like these guys very much. I feel like they're kind of like these weird guys who are doing really well right now, but they don't have kind of the star power as some of the other guys in the lightweight division. And that's why this fight is happening. It feels like 2 of the lesser known stars are kind of fighting. I don't know how to put this fight. It's almost like the guys that are good, but not, I guess, liked. And I wouldn't even say liked, just not popular, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm going to pick Johnson. I say he wins by decision. I think he just uses good takedown defense and better striking to outpoint Bardouche throughout the whole fight. But, this is weird because I don't really care too much about these guys, and it just feels like the weirdest fight that you could ever think of. Well, like I said, either way, I'm going to pick Johnson by decision. And next is Glover Teixeira versus Ovince St. Preux. And I think St. Prue's been looking really good recently, but he's never fought anyone at Glover's level, except for Ryan Bader. But, Teixeira has beaten Bader by knockout, and I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen in this fight. I feel like Teixeira's just better at everything. I think his wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking is all at least a level or 2 higher than St. Preux's. And I feel like we're going to see that in this fight. I think, I just feel like everything that St. Preux does is kind of what Glover does, except for Glover just does it better. So I think Glover's probably going to win by knockout or submission. And, I think he'll just be a fight or 2 away from another shot at the title, because I still think Glover's a top 5 guy. I mean, I still think he's great. I mean, losing to Phil Davis is like losing to Damian Maia. Sometimes it's just hard to beat those guys that are just so good at grappling. But, like I said, I just see Glover winning by finish, probably in the first 2 rounds. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.